Hello and welcome back to the Special Needs Mom Podcast Workshop Week Day 2. And you're probably noticing, you might be noticing that even though I'm talking about this episode as though it was Tuesday, you can actually listen to it on a Monday. I'm going to be releasing the whole week's worth of episodes here on Monday so that you have options. I recognize that not everybody can listen every day. There's a lot going on. And so the idea here is you can listen to them all at once, a little binge style, or you can listen to them each day. They're designed to be spread throughout the week, but they are totally applicable and would be great as a one-stop shop too. Today's focus is planning your day through the lens of your intention. Especially intention versus your default. And the whole goal here is to really manage your overwhelm. As I mentioned in the last episode, I want to make sure you do know about the unchallenge I'm doing starting next week, next Monday, November 28th. And this is going to be a 5-week unchallenge. And the reason I named it that is because we're really going to be looking at how to break down the ways that we have been doing this season that has us completely stressed and overwhelmed and not enjoying it. Longing for that picture of where everybody's happy and we're happy. That just doesn't ever seem to come. Go ahead and sign up for the unchallenge over on the show notes to this episode, which you can find by scrolling down on the episode and you'll see a link. Let's get to today's content. We're going to be laser today. And actually, I did want to mention, if you want to go all in on this, a little lengthier version, go ahead and go to episode 99. It's called Anxiety and Your Never-Ending To-Do List. So this is another more in-depth resource. Today, we're going to be laser. We're going to get this done, and you can implement this in like 5 or 10 minutes. I was even thinking that you can kind of start and stop this episode and do each step as I explain it. So the idea here is that many of us feel scattered and overwhelmed because there are so many things that come up into our mind that we have to do, or we think we have to do. And I want to mention that the concept here is that we're really stepping in to planning our day with our well-being as the star player, as the thing that guides and impacts and make everything else possible. Okay, so here we go. Planning your day from intention. And I don't know what your intention is. So you actually are the one that get to decide what it is that you're trying to create through your experience of this day. So name that word, give it a 1 or 2 name word, and I would encourage you to have it not be the absence of something. So you might say, I just want to be unscattered. Well, consider that you might want something more like happiness. Like what would be possible if you were unscattered? Happiness, presence, connection. Those would be intentions that might be a little bit more compelling than just the absence of something you don't want. Okay, here we go. Step 1, you're going to do a download. You're going to write down all the things that are spinning in your head that are on your to-do list today. So wherever you're at, if you're in the morning, you're going to do it now. If you're in the evening, you're going to still do it. Include all the things that you've been thinking about that you might try to do and fit in, the things that just keep coming up in your head. I like doing this on a blank piece of just like printer paper. Okay. Step 2, as I mentioned, decide your intention. Is it connection, creation, organization, ease, rest, love, joy, calm? These are just brainstorms. Maybe your intention is to not yell at your kids, right? So if you weren't yelling at your kids, what would you then be experiencing? As mentioned, choose 1 or 2 words that capture the essence of this intention. Now I want you to go back to that list, to that download, and I want you to look at your list and cross anything off that doesn't align with your intention and you're deciding not to do. So examples might be, if your intention is rest and you have make pies on your list, perhaps you cross it off your list and you order pies. Or a little step further is you call the family that you committed to bringing pies and say, you know what? I thought it was going to work for me to make pies and bring them to our holiday gathering, but I was wrong. And so I'm not going to be able to bring those pies anymore. Ooh, it's a bold one, right? But it's totally doable. I give you permission. You are allowed to look after yourself and have it sometimes impact other people. Let's look at another example. If your intention was creation, creativity, connection, perhaps making pies is on the list. Can you tell I like making pies? But you also have laundry on the list. Perhaps you cancel laundry. You just say, I'm not doing that. I don't have to do that. I actually will just wear the same clothes again, or I will go buy new clothes. That's kind of a silly option. Or I'll ask my spouse to help with that. There's so many other options. So what you should have left is a list of the things that you are committed to doing. Now, look at this list and I want you to decide how long you want each one of them to take. Example, if I have going to the gym on my list, I would include, as I'm calculating how long this takes, is 60 minutes for the actual class, time to drive there and back, and time to shower afterwards. I consider that part of the gym experience. The one I like the least, by the way. So I would give myself 2 hours for this item. Okay, so I would have on my list, go to the gym, 2 hours. Okay, so you're going to do this for everything. And there might be some things that you're like, Kara, I have no idea how long that's going to take. Well, here's the thing. I want you to decide. You could say it's guessing, but I want you to decide, which is very different than guessing. And I want you to be generous and kind to yourself as you decide. Next, I want you to get a new piece of paper. So now you have 2 pieces of paper. And I want you to go down the left side of the paper and I want you to list the times of the day in increments of 30 minutes. I do this by writing like 9, 10, and then I do a dash in between to represent 30 minutes. I don't want to have to write it all. So just nice and messy is the best way to do this. So down the side of the paper till the point in which you will end your day and go to bed. So then you're going to start by first putting in anything you're already committed to. So if you already have perhaps an appointment or you already have something that is a specific time block, like go to families on Thanksgiving, then you would mark this off and you would put that in there. And then you're going to fill all your items in around that. A couple things might happen. One, you might be like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can actually fit all this in there. There's too much that I thought I needed to do or I was going to do, and I don't have the actual time available to do that. So this is the point in which you decide to stay overwhelmed or to shift, to let go of the overwhelm and shift into your intention. If you fit all the things that you wanted in there, great. That's awesome. Move forward. Skip this step. But if you had more items on your to-do brainstorm than actually fit in your day, this is where you get to make some more decisions. Are you willing to take items off your list? And this might mean just not doing them. It also might mean asking for help. And there's probably a lot more options that I'm not mentioning. I'm just keeping it simple today. So this is the critical piece. If you're not willing to let items go off your list that don't fit, you're going to stay feeling exactly how you feel. Because you're going to constantly be thinking, I don't have enough time. I can't do this. There's too much to do. If only. And so by being willing to put yourself as the star player and your well-being as the driver of all of this, this is where it happens. In some cases, when you take things off of your list, you can put them on another day. You can say, you know what, it doesn't fit today. So for instance, if I recognize, you know what, it doesn't really fit for me to go to the gym today, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I can just check in. If that aligns with what I'm creating, great. I'll put it for tomorrow and I'll have my day work around that day. And as mentioned earlier, this is a great time to really notice areas that you can ask for more support. I want to do a little brag moment for a second. I'm like telling everybody about this because I'm like, wow, this was a big one. It was so helpful. And yet it was still really uncomfortable for me. So a couple weeks ago, I realized I'm like, you know what? I'm heading into this season. It feels full. I need more help. And so even though my husband and I, we partnered together, we do all the cleaning on the weekends, or we did. And, that was working. I was thinking I still wanted more support. So I decided that we were going to get some house help, some cleaning help. And instead of taking that on myself, I realized that is something that my husband is fully capable of handling. And it would help me so much not to be the one that manages that for a lot of different reasons. So I asked him, husband, would you be willing to own this? Would you be willing to take this and go with it? Go find and hire and manage our house cleaner. And he did. And it's been awesome. And here's the part that I wanted to really share is it's really been uncomfortable for me to be with. I've watched him, I wouldn't say struggling, but I've watched him juggling it with all that he does have going on. It's not like he's just floating around doing nothing, right? I felt perhaps a little bit bad. He's really busy too. So I want to share this because all of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is stuff that I actually use in my own life. And so when I ask you to go ask somebody, I want to acknowledge that it is very uncomfortable. It will ask you to be with thoughts and feelings that you didn't know you had. As I watched my husband help me, as I received that from him, it was both a gift, but it also brought up discomfort that I had to be with. I had to allow that discomfort. So I think it's brag-worthy, and I want to share it because I am so glad I was willing to feel that discomfort because it has been such a relief. Last step, go live your intention, right? Take this little sheet of paper. You can neaten it up if you want to. You can put it electronic, but I suggest just use it as your guide. You can refer back to it. You can go live your intention, and your day may go exactly how you planned, and it probably won't. So you're constantly going to be able to go recheck in with your intention and make adjustments as they serve you. Okay? So that is the simple version. It's quick, it's easy, and you can do it in about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, let's do a preview of tomorrow, which you can actually get today. But tomorrow I'm giving you the biggest gift of all. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this episode. I'm calling it the How Are You one-liner. It's so simple, and it's going to take that awkward pause away when you're asked the dreaded question, how are you? Or another version, how was your child? Those questions are so hard to answer. Okay, so as we wrap up, I want to again remind you to go over and check out the Unchallenge. It's very simple. I'm making this choose your own adventure so that you can really meet yourself where you're at, and it'll be powerful and impactful and easy wherever you're starting. We will see you on the next episode.